Welcome back, everybody, to Myelin and Me, or should I say PIP and Me, because this is a PIP episode. This particular episode is something which I've noticed. I've had a few comments on my videos and read a few different articles and things like that. And people are making the same mistakes when they apply for PIP. And, we don't like mistakes, do we? We learn from our mistakes, but to be honest with you, we want to make sure that we get PIP. So, if you're applying for PIP because, you've got a disability, etc., then this is for you. So, please carry on and watch it because it's going to save you weeks of stress and possibly a lot of money in the background as well. So, stay with me because this one is very important. I'll put a link to the playlist, which I've done over the last couple of months, at the end of the video down below, so you'll be able to see that. But the big number one misunderstanding is basically this: PIP is not about your diagnosis. So it's not about what condition you have. It's about how your condition stops you doing everyday tasks safely, reliably, and repeatedly, and in sort of reasonable time. So I'm going to talk from an MS point of view. So if MS affects how I cook, wash, dress, walk, think, or communicate, that's what PIP is based on, not the letters MS on a bit of paper. So when I first applied, I thought, well, I've got MS, everyone. Ooh, surely that's enough. Nope. And I learned the hard way, and I don't want you guys to learn the hard way as well. So there we go. Sort of trap number two is, misunderstanding. People describe their best day when they should describe their average day. So if you push yourself once a week and walk further than normal, that's not what PIP is measuring. What happens most of the time, that's what we're after, okay? So on a random Tuesday, in a supermarket, when fatigue hits, when the pain kicks in, if it takes 3 times longer, or you need sort of breaks, or you can't do it safely every day, that matters. I've mentioned it loads of times on my videos. That is what matters. So please say that, And then we've got our mobility aids, which is, point number 3, which I like to look at. It's kind of like, if you need a stick or a wheelchair to move safely, even if you don't always use it, that's a support need. And it should be on the form. So I know you are writing that down as we speak in here. Support aid. I'm in a wheelchair 90% of the time. The other 10%, I like to furniture surf or wall walk, like a drunk sort of pirate sort of thing. It counts. I use the wall for support, right? So, and then point number 4 is carers, so, help from other people counts so much more than people realise. If someone helps you get in and out of the shower, prepares food for you, cuts your food, helps you remember to take your meds or encourages you to start a task, that's assistance, and it's valid. And you're gonna mention that, whether it's on your form or if it's in your interview. I hate admitting how much my wife helps me, but pride doesn't pay the bills. Honesty does. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna go on to point number 5. Right? Is doctors don't see your real daily life. They don't watch me drop food because my hand is given up, or sit on the stairs halfway because my left leg refuses to move, or nap for 2 hours because I boiled pasta. It's serious things which happen to people with MS or other medical things. So your medical notes help, but your real world examples are absolute gold. Tell them what happens, why it happens, and what happens after. Remember those 3 things. So if you remember one thing from this video, don't describe the person you wish you were. Describe the person you are on a bad day, because that's the reality that PIP needs to see. All right, you deserve the support. You know, if MS or anything else is making your everyday life harder, you shouldn't be punished for coping. You should get help, and you're entitled to that help. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm making a full series of PIP videos, which, you'll see. There's a link in the description, and one is going to flash up on the screen pretty soon. But I've learned the hard way. So please subscribe to this if you don't mind, to try and get that little bit more help that you need. I read every single comment, and I'll help you out as much as I can. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a law professional. I'm just talking from experience of going for PIP. Okay, so I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert, but I will help you as much as I can from experience. And sometimes experience is key, really, isn't it? So I hope you all have a good day. Drop us a comment if I can help with anything, and I'll see you on the next one.